Hello everyone, I am Pupul Haikruzam. I teach English for classes 9 and 10. Hello everyone, welcome to this English class where we shall be learning a poem from our class 10 English literature reader. Let us learn from the poetry section poem number 3, The Charge of the Light Brigade. The poem that is there for us in the textbook has been written by Alfred Tennyson. Alfred Tennyson was a British poet. He is given the title Lord, so he is referred to as Lord Alfred Tennyson. He was a poet laureate. That means he was given this title, poet laureate title, by the British monarch. So what does he do as a poet laureate? He writes and celebrates the beauty and the bravery of his country, of his kingdom. So he writes songs about praising the country. He writes poetry praising the countrymen, right? That is what he do. And the poem for us, that is The Charge of the Light Brigade, is also one poem which is about the celebration of the British soldier. He talks about their bravery, how they fought the battle with the Russians. The Russians, in this battle, they were the strong one. They had the big guns with them. They had the artilleries with them. The British soldiers, horse-ridden, cavalry, with the swords only, they went to fight the Russian. So the bravery they showed, the courage they had, and the sacrifice they made is what is celebrated in this poem that we have. And this bravery, the courage, and the sacrifice shown by the British soldier, our poets want us, the reader, the poet wants the world who reads about them to remember the British soldiers, to celebrate them, to honor them. How they fought, and what happened to them and how they should be remembered is what the poem is all about, and we shall know it better by reading it. So let us go to the poem. The Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord Tennyson. First stanza, reading it. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, all in the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. So the first stanza is about the first attack made by the British soldiers. So they had to move forward, onward, the word given there in the second line, onward. They had to move ahead. Move ahead how much? Half a league, half a league. This is the distance they had to cover in order to reach the enemy line. Okay, half a league is 1.5 miles. This distance they had to cover. Okay, onward they were moving ahead, right? Where were they going? All the soldiers, they were moving onward, moving towards the valley of death. Valley of death referring to the enemy line, the site of the enemy, the Russian, a field there, the site where the Russian soldiers are. It is a valley of death because the English soldiers, they knew that if we go over that side, if we cross that line, that is for sure. Right? They're definitely going to die there. They had to sacrifice their life. That is why the poet uses the term valley of death, referring to the enemy side. Okay? So the 600, rode the 600, that is the number of British soldiers. There were 600 of them only, right? But even if there were only 600 of them, even if they knew that if we go towards the enemy, we're definitely going to die, they rode. Okay, they rode and they moved towards the enemy, the Russians there. Why they moved towards? Because a command was there, an order was given to them, and that is what is mentioned in the next line. Forward the Light Brigade, charge for the guns, he said. Someone was ordering them, someone was commanding them to move ahead. He here is the commander there. He is the commandant, He is the one, the general who's leading the British soldiers there. He was commanding them, ordering them to move ahead and to charge and to attack for the guns. Guns referring to the Russian soldiers who had guns with them. Right? He was asking the Light Brigade, the British soldiers who were on horses, the cavalry, he was asking them to move ahead and attack the Russians who were there waiting at the line with guns in their hand, right? Since it was an order from the commander, into the valley of death rode the 600. Since it was an order, since it was a command from the general, despite knowing the fact that they were moving towards death, the 600 soldiers, they continue riding towards the enemy. So now let us read the second stanza. Forward the light brigade. Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. This is what the second stanza say. Second stanza, the command continues. Forward the light brigade. Since the forward, the command, the order to move ahead was given, they continued. When this command was given, was there a man dismayed? Was there any soldier who was scared, dismayed, who was frightened? Was there any soldier who did not feel like moving ahead? Why? Why would they feel so? Because not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. Because the soldier, they knew, they had the idea that, they had the understanding that someone had blundered. They understood that there was a blunder, there was a mistake in this command. Why? Because there were 600 of them only, and they had swords only with them. They did not have big guns, they did not have the cannons with them, but they were ordered to move ahead. Right? So that kind of an order was, in that kind of a battle, a mistake, a blunder. But the soldiers, were they dismayed? No, they were not. Why? Why they were not dismayed? Why they were not afraid or scared? Because there's not to make reply, there's not to reason why, there's but to do and die. This is the reason why they followed despite knowing the fact that it was a mistake. Because they are soldiers, theirs. As a soldier, they cannot make any reply. They cannot, they cannot say no to the order, right? They cannot reason why. They cannot ask the question. They cannot, inquire the general. They cannot ask him, are you sure? Should we be attacking? They cannot do that. Why? They are soldier, right? Their duty is to do. Their duty is to carry out the command, the order of the general, and die and be not afraid of sacrificing their lives. That is what a soldier is supposed to do. So even if they were dismayed, even if there was a mistake, they did not ask, they did not reply, but instead they just followed the order and rode the 600 into the valley of death. This is important. There's two lines being repeated again and again. The 600 riding into the valley of death. It gives the significance of the poem. It is where the importance of the poem lies, right? The 600, they followed all the orders. They followed everything. They were not afraid. They were ready to sacrifice. Then they were moving into the valley of death. Valley of death referring to the enemy line, the place where the Russian soldiers are stationed, where they're waiting to kill the British. Okay, valley of death, the 600 continued riding in. This is our second stanza. We shall now move to the third. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, boldly they rode and well, into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell, rode the 600. So this is third stanza. What does the third stanza say? The third stanza gives us a picture of the attack that was being done to the British soldier. As they were moving into the valley of death, the Russians could see them coming, charging them, attacking them, right? The Russian could see the charge, the attack being carried by the British soldier. Okay, so in order to defend themselves, in order to finish and kill the British soldier, they started firing cannon. Okay, cannons are the big guns, right? In the early century, you light it up, and then the cannon bells shoot out from the big cannons, right? Big mouth of the cannon. Okay, so the cannons were being fired, the right of them, left of them, front of them. That means they were being attacked from all sides. Okay, left, right, front, an indication that the Russians were attacking the British soldiers from all the sides. Right? And when these cannons were being fired, it was being volleyed. That means being fired. Okay? Thundered means as the cannons were being fired, there were loud sounds. Thundered, volleyed and thundered, the sounds and the firing of the cannon. Okay, so the cannons were fired with loud sounds, and they were being attacked from all sides, right? Storm being attacked with shot and shell, with guns and bombs. The soldiers were being attacked by the Russian armies, right? Even if they were being attacked from all sides, boldly they wrought and well. Even if they were being attacked from all sides, they continued to ride and move towards the Russian, right? And well means they were not afraid. They continue being brave and courageous, right? They continue to ride into the jaws of death. They were going into the jaws of death. They could see that they're waiting to eat them up, devour them up, right? But even if that was waiting them with the wide open jaws, they continue riding in, right? They were riding into the mouth of hell. Once they go beyond that line and once they reach the enemy area, they know that it is going to be hell there, right? Hell is a place where there is disturbance. Hell is a place where there is torture. Hell is a place where you cannot die in peace, right? And that is what was waiting for the British soldiers, right? Even if it was the jaws of death, even if it was the mouth of hell, they continue riding. This 600 soldier, they continue riding towards the enemy, even if they were being attacked from all sides. Now let us read the fourth stanza. Flash all their sabres bare, flash as they turn in air, sabring the gunners there, charging an army while all the world wondered. Plunge in the battery smoke, right through the line they broke. Cossack and Russian reeled from the saber stroke, shattered and sundered. Then they rode back, but not the 600. So this is the fourth stanza. What is the fourth stanza saying? In the third stanza, we know that the British soldiers, they were already moving towards the Russians, and the Russians were firing at them with the cannons, right? And as soon as the British soldier reached the Russian line, what did they do? They removed their swords and they started, attacking them, right? Flushed their sabers. Sabers referring to the sword, which was bare now, which did not have its cover. So as the swords without the cover, as they started attacking the Russians and as they started moving it in the air, flash, the brightness that it was creating. Okay. The flash, the light kind of twinkling kind of a picture that the sword was providing. They were attacking the Russians with their sabers, with their swords only. And as soon as they crossed, they started sabering the gunners there. Gunners, the Russian soldiers with the big guns. They started sabering them, they started killing them, they started attacking them with their sabers, with their swords. So as they were charging the army there, as they were attacking the Russian gunners there, the rest of the world, the rest of the nation, the other countries who were hearing about the battle, who were hearing about the war, they were all in, wondered, they were lost in thought. How can the British soldier with just their saber, with just their sword, be able to fight the Russian gunners? They kept on wondering, they kept on thinking about the bravery that they were showing, the sacrifice that they were ready to make. So these British soldiers, they continue attacking the Russians, they plunge in, they jump into the battery smoke. Battery smoke is in the battlefield because of the cannons that were being fired, right? The smoke coming out from there, from the cannons and from the big guns, the smoke, they were coming out. Into that smoke, they plunge in, they jump in, and right through the line. The line is the enemy line. They crossed the enemy line and they broke into the enemy camp. There, over the other side of the line, the Cossack and the Russians were there. Cossack is modern day Ukraine, right? The Cossack and the Russian soldiers, they were there over the other side of the line. And when the British soldiers attacked them with their sabers, they were all shattered and sundered. Shattered and sundered is cut into pieces, broken into pieces. Some of the soldiers, they were beheaded. Some of the soldiers, their arms and legs were cut off. Some of them were stabbed and killed, and it was all bloody. It was a scene of war. Okay, it was a scene of war, and when you look at the Cossack and the Russian soldiers, and when the British soldiers attacked them, it was in a scene of shattering and shandering, and they were not able to walk properly. They were not able to get up from the attack. That is why the poet has used the word reel, not able to stand properly. They were reeling, they were dragging themselves, trying to make themselves stable again, trying to defend themselves. That is what was happening with the enemy soldiers. Then they rode back. So after this fierce attack, after this fierce battle with the Russians and the Cossacks over the other side of the line, the 600, the soldiers, it was time for them to come back. When it was time for them to come back, not the 600, and it is time for them to return. It was not the 600 of them, because some of them have been killed in the battle. Some of them have been killed in that attack, and they had to sacrifice their life. Next is the fifth stanza, which will give us again an understanding on the return. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them volleyed and thundered. Storm aired with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell. They that had fought so well came through the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell. All that was left of them, left of 600. This is the fifth stanza, right? In the fifth stanza, the poet is giving us a picture of the return. After that fierce fight, after that fierce attack with the Russians over the 600 soldiers, they were coming back. But as they were coming back, it was not 600 of them, because some of them have been killed. They had to sacrifice their life. And even if they were coming back, the Russian soldiers, since they were more in number, in compared to the British soldiers, they continued to attack. They continued to attack the retreating English soldiers, the British soldiers. And here in this stanza, you see behind. That means they were being attacked from the back. As they were coming back home, they were being attacked by the Russian soldiers. Right, left, behind. Again, from all sides, they were being attacked. Right? Volleyed and thundered, storm aired with shot and shell. This line is repeated, trying to say that what happened when they were going towards the Russian camp, it happened while retreating, while coming back from that camp, the same attack happened. It was the cannons volleyed, the cannons were fired at with thundering sound, with loud sounds, right? And they were being attacked, storm with shot and shell, with the firing of the guns and with the firing of the cannons. The English soldiers were being attacked by the Russians, even if they were trying to come back home. As they were coming back home, the Russians were attacking them. Then what happened? The horse and the hero who were riding well. Remember in the early stanza, as they were moving ahead, it was riding well. But now the horse were falling down, and the hero, they are now hero, because they have carried out the attack. They have, completed the order, the command of the general. So now they are heroes. But the heroes who were coming home, they were now falling. They were falling from the horses. They were now dying. They that had fought so well came through the jaws of death. They, the English soldiers, they fought so well. They fought very bravely, and they were now coming out from the jaws of death. They were now coming out from the enemy line. They were back from the mouth of the hell. They were able to escape from the grasp of death. And now all that was left of them, left of 600. The soldiers who were coming back home, the soldiers who were able to defeat death, the soldiers who were able to escape from hell, there were few of them, few soldiers that was left of the 600, because many of them died and many of them were killed in that battle. Now we're towards the end of the poem. In the last stanza, what does the poet do? In the last stanza, the poet, after writing about the bravery, the courage and sacrifice of the soldier, he now celebrates them. Okay, how does he celebrate them? Let us see by reading the stanza. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made. All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made, honor the light brigade, noble 600. So this is the ending, the final stanza of the poem. In the final stanza, the first line, the poet says, when can their glory fade? When will their bravery, when will this the story about them, the glory, the celebration, the story of their bravery. When will it fade? When will it come to an end? It will never come to an end. That is why he has this question. Okay, it will never come to end. The glory, the celebration, the happiness, the pride they have brought to the country, it will never come to an end. That is why the poet says, when can it fade? Because it will never come to an end. Oh, the wild charge they met. He is remembering the attack carried out by the soldiers. And when they met this charge, when they carried out this attack, all the world wondered. The world was left wondering. The world was left to, thoughts that how can they fight the Russians? The Russians are brave. The Russians have artillery. The Russians have gun. But despite being brave, despite being stronger, this light brigade was able to attack the Russian. That is what the world was left with, that thought and the wondering that, oh, so brave they were, right? So because of that, let us honor the charge they met, the attack met by the light brigade. Let us honor that. Let us remember that. Honor the light brigade. Let us remember the soldier. Let us honor them. Let us show them respect, because they are noble 600. They're worthy of being noble. They're worthy of being honored. They're worthy of being, respected. So we need to honor them. We need to consider them as noble. And this is the bravery song by the British soldier in this battle between the Russian soldiers. We completed the poem. A quick recap before we wind up the class. That is, this is about a battle carried out between the Russian soldiers and the English soldiers. The English soldiers very bravely fought the Russians, even if they had guns. The English soldiers with their sabers was able to at least fight them, if not defeat them completely, was able to fight them, was able to destroy some of them. And in that process, in that charge, in that attack, the English soldier also had to make their sacrifice. So for the sacrifice, for the courage shown by the British soldier, poet Alfred Lord Tennyson wants the world to remember them, to honor them, to respect the Light Brigade. This is our poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade by Alfred Lord Tennyson.